Welcome to my YouTube channel Raise a Cat, and today we will study what is the concept of Gibbs free energy in electrochemistry. Okay, so in the electrochemistry we will study what is the concept of Gibbs free energy. So in the electrochemistry, Gibbs free energy or the delta G is defined as minus of NF into E. Okay. So here the delta G is the Gibbs free energy, N is the number of electron, F is the Faraday constant. Okay. And E is the E cell or the potential or of the cell. Okay. So in this delta G, N, F and E. So F is the Faraday constant which we have to remember, and N is the number of electron in the particular reaction, and E is the potential of the cell. Okay. So how we will find this E cell or the potential of the cell? E cell is equals to E naught or the standard value of the cell minus RT upon NF into Ln reduction potential upon oxidation potential. Okay. So this is the formula for finding the E cell. If there are two reactions, one is a reduction reaction and one is oxidation reaction in two half cells. Okay. So this is how we will find the E cell, and we will put here and we can easily get what is the delta G. Okay. So like this we will find the delta G for the reaction. Okay. So suppose that there are two or more than two reactions are there. Okay. And we have to find what is the delta G for the third reaction. Okay. So delta G we can add or subtract. So delta G1 is equals to delta G2 plus delta G3. Like this we can do. If suppose that this is a first reaction and this is a second reaction, and by adding this second and third reaction we can make this first reaction. Okay. So this was the first reaction and these were the two reactions, second and third, and by adding these two reactions we can make this first reaction. So we can write like this: delta G2 plus delta G3 is equal to delta G1. So we can add or subtract the value of the Gibbs free energy. Okay. So suppose that this second is A gives B plus C. Okay. This is second, and third is B plus 2C gives 2A. Okay. So this is third. Okay. And if we add both of them, second and third, this B will get cancelled. Okay. And this A1A will get cancelled and this will become C gives 2A. So this is first. Okay. So what we can do? We can, if the delta G2 is this, Gibbs free energy of second reaction is delta G2, and Gibbs free energy of this reaction is delta G3, and Gibbs free energy of this reaction is delta G1. Okay. So what we can write? Delta G1 is equal to delta G2 plus delta G3. Okay. So like this we can add or subtract the Gibbs free energy for the reaction. Okay. And what is the concept behind the spontaneous and non-spontaneous reactions with the help of delta G values? Okay. So with the help of delta G values, how we can tell that a reaction is spontaneous or the reaction is non-spontaneous? Okay. So if we have to tell that the reaction is spontaneous, okay, or the reaction is non-spontaneous. Okay. So how we can tell with the help of delta G? Okay. So with the help of delta G, how we can tell? So if the delta G is, which is N minus NFE. Okay. So if the value of this is less than 0, okay, so the value of, so the reaction will be spontaneous. or the reaction will be feasible. Okay, if the delta G is which is minus NFE, if the value is less than 0, so the reaction is spontaneous or feasible. So when it will be negative, when the value of this will be positive, because N will be positive, F is also positive. So if E is greater than 0, so the reaction is feasible. Okay, so if the E cell of the reaction is greater than 0, then only the reaction is feasible or the spontaneous. If the delta G value is greater than 0, okay, or the E value is less than 0, okay, so negative into negative, which is positive. So if the delta G is greater than 0, then the reaction will be non-spontaneous. Okay, so that if the delta G is greater than 0, then the reaction is non-spontaneous or non-feasible, or if the delta G is negative, then the reaction is spontaneous or feasible. Okay, so this is the concept. With the sign of delta G, we can easily tell that the reaction is spontaneous or non-spontaneous. Okay, so for the reaction to be spontaneous, E cell value should already be positive. Okay, then only the value of delta G will be negative. Okay, so this was the concept for the Gibbs free energy in the electrochemistry. Okay, thank you.